Echoes of a Lost World, The Vanished Giants. Welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into the fascinating history of megafauna and why these giant creatures disappeared from our planet. Imagine a world where colossal beasts roamed the landscapes, creatures of such immense scale and power that they seem almost mythical to us now. Woolly mammoths with their curving tusks, giant ground sloths reaching for the highest branches, and formidable saber-toothed cats, masters of the prehistoric hunt. These were the megafauna, the titans of their time, shaping ecosystems merely by their presence. Their sudden vanishing, geologically speaking, remains one of the planet's most profound ecological mysteries, a puzzle with pieces scattered across millennia. For countless ages, these magnificent animals were an integral part of Earth's biodiversity. They were not merely large, they were keystone species, their interactions with the environment influencing everything from plant distribution to soil composition. The story of their decline is not a simple one, but rather a complex tapestry woven from threads of climatic upheaval, shifting landscapes, and the arrival of a new, uniquely intelligent predator, humankind. Understanding their fate is not just an academic pursuit, it offers us a poignant reflection on the fragility of life and the profound impact our own species can have upon the natural world. Join me, Kelly, as we embark on a journey back in time, exploring the prime suspects in this ancient drama. We will sift through the evidence, examine the theories, and attempt to unravel the complex interplay of factors that led to the silence where once the thunderous footsteps of giants echoed. It is a story of adaptation, of vulnerability, and ultimately of loss, but one that holds vital lessons for the stewardship of the life that still graces our remarkable planet. We seek to understand not just why they vanished, but what their absence means for the world we inhabit today. The human factor, a new apex predator on the scene. Our journey into the disappearance of the megafauna begins with our own ancestors. For millions of years, large animal populations adapted to natural cycles of climate and predation. But the emergence of Homo sapiens introduced a predator with unprecedented intelligence and cooperative strategies. As humans migrated out of Africa, they encountered ecosystems teeming with large animals. This lack of co-evolutionary experience proved fatal for many. Consider the woolly mammoth or the giant Irish elk. These creatures evolved alongside known predators, but humans were different, wielding fire and hunting in organized groups. The megafauna of Eurasia had time to adapt, but for the giants of the Americas and Australia, human arrival was abrupt. These were naive faunas, tragically easy targets. Their sheer size meant more resources for humans. The archaeological record paints a compelling picture. The arrival of humans marks a pivotal moment in the story of megafauna. Our ancestors played a crucial role, not with malicious intent, but merely surviving and thriving. The consequence of their success was the diminishment of the world's giants. This realization carries a weighty responsibility, a reminder of our power to transform the Earth. A world in flux, the tumult of climate change. The arrival of humans introduced new pressures, but the world they inhabited was already transforming. The end of the last ice age, between 20,000 and 10,000 years ago, was marked by rapid climate shifts. Glaciers retreated, causing sea levels to rise and altering coastlines. This melting unleashed environmental changes, affecting all life, especially large creatures. Fresh water disrupted ocean currents, influencing global weather patterns. Temperatures fluctuated, causing abrupt cold snaps and heat waves. Megafauna faced habitat changes as mammoth steppes shrank and forests expanded. Migration patterns were disrupted, isolating populations and reducing genetic diversity. Changing climates affected food and water availability, leading to starvation. Larger animals struggled with temperature regulation and increased disease susceptibility. Fossil records show climatic stress, with animals forced to adapt or move. The climatic upheavals at the end of the Pleistocene presented formidable challenges to megafauna. Food sources shifted, habitats transformed, and the stability of their world was undermined. Many species were pushed to their limits, weakening populations and making them more susceptible to additional pressures. Chapter 3. The Perfect Storm, a Convergence of Threats, the Blitzkrieg Hypothesis. While human hunting and climate change each present compelling arguments for their role in the megafauna extinctions, the reality is likely far more complex than a single cause. Many scientists now believe that it was the combination of these pressures, a synergistic effect, that delivered the final blow to many of these magnificent species. This idea, sometimes encapsulated in models like the Blitzkrieg hypothesis, suggests that climate change weakened megafauna populations, making them critically vulnerable to human predation. Imagine a population of giant ground sloths already struggling. Their traditional forest habitats are shrinking due to a drying climate, forcing them into more open, unfamiliar territories. Food sources are becoming scarcer, less nutritious. The younger sloths are weaker and fewer females are successfully raising offspring to maturity. This population is stressed, its numbers perhaps already in slow decline, its resilience eroded. Now, introduce a band of human hunters into this scenario. Even if these hunters only take a few individuals, the impact on an already compromised population can be disproportionately severe. The Blitzkrieg hypothesis, in its original formulation by Paul Martin, proposed a rapid wave of human-driven extinctions as hunters swept across new continents, particularly the Americas. While the speed and sole human agency of this model are debated, the core idea of humans as a novel and highly effective predator encountering naive prey remains potent, especially when prey populations are already under duress from environmental shifts. The hypothesis posits that humans encountering animals unafraid and unadapted to their hunting techniques could have rapidly depleted local populations as they expanded. Climate change in this combined model acts as a crucial predisposing factor. It's not just that the climate changed, but how it changed. The rapid fluctuations, the shifting vegetation belts, the altered rainfall patterns, all these created a landscape of uncertainty for megafauna. Animals were forced to move, to adapt their diets, or to simply endure harsher conditions. This environmental stress could have led to reduced body condition, lower reproductive success, and increased susceptibility to disease. They were, in a sense, already on the edge, their ecological footing less secure than it had been for millennia. Human hunting then becomes the proverbial straw that breaks the camel's back. For a healthy, thriving population, a certain level of predation is sustainable, but for a population already weakened and fragmented by climatic stress, even a modest increase in hunting mortality can trigger a downward spiral towards extinction. Hunters might preferentially target larger prime-age individuals, which are crucial for breeding, or they might focus on vulnerable juveniles. Either strategy, applied to a stressed population, could have devastating consequences, far greater than if applied to a robust one. Consider the intricate web of ecological connections. If climate change reduced the abundance of certain plant species, the herbivores dependent on those plants would suffer. This in turn would affect the carnivores that preyed upon those herbivores. Human hunting could then exacerbate these effects by further reducing herbivore numbers, making it even harder for large carnivores like the saber-toothed cat or the short-faced bear to find sufficient food. The entire ecosystem becomes destabilized, and the largest animals, often at the top of the food chain or requiring vast resources, are frequently the most vulnerable to such systemic shocks. Moreover, the areas most affected by climate change might also have been the areas where human megafauna encounters became more frequent. For example, as habitats shrank, animals might have become concentrated in smaller, resource-rich refugia, such as river valleys or oases. These same areas would also have been attractive to human populations, leading to increased competition for resources and more opportunities for hunting. Thus, climate change could have inadvertently funneled megafauna and humans into closer and, for the megafauna, more perilous contact. The timing of extinctions in different regions offers clues. In some areas, the disappearance of megafauna seems to align more closely with significant climatic shifts, while in others it correlates more strongly with the arrival or expansion of human populations. However, in many instances, these events overlap, making it difficult to disentangle the precise contribution of each factor. This is why the combined pressure model is so compelling. It acknowledges the interplay of multiple stresses, reflecting the complex reality of ecological systems. It suggests a scenario where environmental change loaded the gun and human activity, in many cases, pulled the trigger. It is also possible that human impacts were not solely about direct predation. As mentioned earlier, landscape modification through fire, even on a local scale, could have altered habitats. Competition for key resources, like waterholes, could also have played a part. These indirect effects, when added to the stress of a rapidly changing climate and direct hunting, would have further compounded the challenges faced by megafauna. Each factor amplified the others, creating a cascade of negative impacts that proved too much for many species to withstand. The debate over the exact weighting of human impact versus climate change continues, and the picture likely varied from region to region and species to species. Some megafauna may have been more resilient to climatic shifts but highly vulnerable to hunting, while others might have been pushed to the brink by environmental change alone, with human predation being a final, minor factor. But the overarching narrative that emerges is one of populations caught between the scylla of a transforming world and the charybdis of a new, highly adaptable predator. For many of the Earth's giants, this combination proved lethal, leading to their permanent disappearance from the stage of life. Chapter 4: Echoes of Giants, the Survivors and Their Precarious Present. While many megafauna went extinct, some giants like elephants, rhinoceroses and whales survived into the modern era. These survivors are echoes of a lost world carrying the legacy of gigantism. Why did these species survive when so many others perished? Factors include geographic luck, adaptive flexibility, and co-evolution with humans. Many surviving megafauna are found in Africa and southern Asia, where they had time to adapt to human presence. These regions may have served as stable refugia during climatic shifts. Today, these magnificent creatures face new threats from habitat loss, poaching, and climate change. Their survival depends on our actions to protect and conserve them. Understanding their past helps us prevent future extinctions. These creatures are vital to their ecosystems and our planet's richness. Our exploration into the disappearance of the megafauna reveals a profound narrative of change, adaptation, and vulnerability. These colossal creatures, once masters of their domains, succumbed to a complex interplay of shifting climates and the burgeoning influence of humankind. Their story is a somber reminder of how even the most imposing forms of life can be fragile in the face of relentless environmental pressure and the arrival of a new, transformative force. The echoes of their thunderous footsteps have faded, leaving behind fossils and questions that continue to challenge our understanding of the deep past and our own species' journey. The legacy of the megafauna extinctions is not merely a historical account. It serves as a crucial lesson for our contemporary world. The very same factors, rapid environmental change, now driven by human activity, and direct human pressures on wildlife populations, are threatening the biodiversity of our planet today. The surviving megafauna, those magnificent elephants, rhinos, whales, and giraffes, stand as living emblems of this ongoing challenge. Their precarious existence underscores the urgent need for a more sustainable and harmonious relationship between humanity and the natural world, lest we repeat the mistakes of the past on an even grander scale. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of ancient giants and the mysteries of their disappearance, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating content exploring the wonders and challenges of life on Earth. Your support helps us continue to bring these important stories to light. We hope this journey has inspired you to reflect on our planet's rich history and the vital role we all play in shaping its future. See you next time.